In other news tonight, Press Secretary Anthony Newbold has updated the media on a series of plans being executed by the Minnis administration. He told reporters today, including our Keishla Adderley, about issues ranging from bilateral talks to the environment.
Press Secretary Anthony Newbold previewed the Prime Minister's maiden budget presentation as one which will be, quote, definitely newsworthy. This against the backdrop of a litany of criticism over the value and terms of contracts signed under the Christie administration, like the $33,000 a month culture consultancy contract with Ian Poitier. Meantime, Prime Minister Minnis is working bilateral relationships, most recently in talks with the U.S. Secretary of State over the Venezuelan economic crisis.
The Prime Minister has been speaking with the U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson about what is happening in Venezuela. And of course, the U.S. would be concerned about it. They may not want to be, but they are the world's policemen. And so the CARICOM heads, of course, have a position. They've been talking about that and what that final position would be. Obviously, they want the situation to be resolved as peacefully and as quickly as possible.
Back at home, political advancement is on the agenda. Newbold says local government minister Frankie Campbell is in talks with the National Development Council to introduce the community-level local government system to New Providence.
And so the idea is by the time we have local government again, Nassau will be a part of that. But of course, again, you can't have local government that looks one way in Nassau and another local government that looks another way in Abaco or Andros. So again, all of that is part of what must happen as the structure is put together for what local government will be.
The government has also narrowed down its options on an alternative site for the customs warehouse hit by burglars 2 weeks ago, sustaining $3 million in damage. A Gladstone Road relocation was considered, but thought to be inconvenient and likely to put a dent in the $600,000 in daily business intake. The other option, the Sky Bahamas building, would present a conflict of interest to Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest. Here's how the government is handling it.
Prime Minister is part of Sky, so he had to recuse himself from the discussion while this was going on. So he had to leave the discussion. Of concern, again, is of course the country's ability to continue its operation and collect the much needed revenue and not to be disadvantaged. Sky, again, that building was recommended by the Controller of Customs. They're still looking at it.
On the environmental front, Newbold says a private company may be engaged to deal with leaks at the Clifton Pier plant which have been linked to theft. Speaking to the lingering fires from the New Providence landfill, Newbold says the Environment Minister is also focusing on that, a preliminary measure that will be taken, the assignment of wardens to oversee the site. On Bahamas Air, Newbold says the government has secured a 15-month extension on an agreement to pay interest only on a loan for 5 new aircraft. The agreement requires a $2 million payment and places the $4 million principal payments on hold.